Welcome to this week's Sports Writers Show on the Web. I'm Matt Schuckman alongside Blake Toppmeyer. DOB, MIA today.
Yeah. Ratings will probably go up in his absence.
I'm sure they will.
This might be a permanent departure.
Well, I hope the Sears repairman shows up soon for DOB. While we talk local sports, football still going on. We've got two teams left, one on each side of the river. You were wrong last week.
Yeah, you were half right.
I was half right.
I was 100% wrong. I said they'd both lose, and here we are. They're both still alive. Brown County plays Tuscola at Mount Sterling, a rematch of last year's state semifinal in which Tuscola won by a touchdown that they scored late in that game. South Shelby hosts East Buchanan. East Buchanan's a one-loss team. South Shelby's playing well. I'm going to say it again. I think we're going to have an offer again this week. Of course, I was wrong last week, so who knows. I think Brown County and Tuscola will be a great game, similar to the way it was last year. South Shelby, they're playing extremely well right now, but East Buchanan spreads the field, has a stud senior quarterback who can run and pass. Not something that South Shelby's seen in the Clarence Cannon Conference, really. And I think that could be a test for their defense.
The one thing about South Shelby, and you and I have talked about this extensively the last few weeks, is that young offensive line continues to get better and better.
Right.
The three freshmen they have up front no longer play like freshmen.
Mm-hmm.
And Sean Bertrand, their stud running back, just continues to churn out yards. If East Buchanan cannot stop the run and South Shelby can control the clock, there's the advantage for the Cardinals.
Right. And East Buchanan has allowed some points this year, and I talked to their coach, Kevin Bryan, earlier this week, and he said, we've seen some double wing type teams earlier this year. He said they gave us a little bit of trouble. He said we actually haven't seen a real strong power I type team, which is what South Shelby is, with Bertrand being that tailback. So, he admitted our run defense better come to play, or it could be, they could allow some points. It could turn into maybe a bit of a shootout. So who do you like in those matchups?
Well, I think East Buchanan wins.
Mm-hmm.
I think just their experience, the fact they spread the field, it's going to make South Shelby struggle defensively. And if South Shelby can't control the clock,
mm-hmm.
they're going to have a hard time stopping East Buchanan. This side of the river, I'm sticking with what I said. I'm sticking with the Hornets.
Yeah.
I think the fact that they won that big emotional game against Triopia, there won't be the letdown.
Mm-hmm.
You always worry that you play a rival at any time during the year. There's that letdown, that hangover afterward. I don't think you'll see that because I think the Hornets have more to play for. They lost their quarterback last week, Tim Woodward, to a knee injury. He's also dealing with some personal issues, and it's going to make that team more of a family this week than maybe ever before. Tuscola survived the Cola Wars, beating Arcola last week in a very impressive fashion.
Yeah.
So the fact is Tuscola can come in and put some points on the board. Brown County's defense wins this game for them, I think.
That's going to be a fun environment no matter what happens.
Wow.
I mean, I was there last year, and Tuscola and Brown County, there's few 1A fans that support their teams better. It should be a lot of fun there.
Well, and the Sting squad, I'm sure, is probably already getting the field in the area ready. So we'll see what happens. You got them both losing. I've got a split again this week.
You were closer last week.
I was closer last week. One thing we both missed out on last week was neither one of us picked the QND volleyball team to win the state title.
True. Yeah.
And the Lady Raiders got it done. You were there. You were in Bloomington all weekend. Why were they able to get it done?
Simply, they had the best defense of any 2A team there, and that's really what won it for them. And you talk to the opposing coaches that they played. They were all quick to give praise to QND's back row, especially their senior libero, Shannon Foley. They said, she was the one player who impacted them more than anybody. But it wasn't just the defense. The defense was the primary factor, but they had some other players play really well, especially in the semifinal. Kate Ginnenbacher had her best match of the season. She dealt with some injuries this year, but really put it all together in the semifinal. And that was big because some of their other offensive weapons didn't play that well. And then in the championship match, Gracie Barnes had a really good match, and they got some pretty good balance. And even though Chicago Christian did have more firepower, they did have more offensive weapons, QND got enough offense that it was then able to say, okay, we have a better defense, so we're getting enough out of our offense, we can win this match, and they did.
2011 calendar year has been the year of the Raider.
Yeah.
3 state championships, A baseball team wins a regional title for the first time in a while. I mean, you could go on and on. Wrestling team makes it to the state tournament.
Yeah.
Football team wins, 7 games again. It was seriously the year of the Raider. The 2011-12 school year could be even more so. The year of the Raider. Already 2 state titles. We found out this week. Girls basketball team, unanimous #1 team in the preseason state polls.
Yeah.
Deservedly so, right?
Right. Yeah, I was going to be pretty shocked if they weren't the unanimous #1. If maybe someone just fell asleep on the poll there or something. But yeah, 11 first place votes. All 5 starters returning, top reserve returning. I mean, there's going to be a lot of pressure on them, no doubt. That is the one downside to this all. If it is a downside, I think you almost have to look at it as an opportunity.
Right.
But still, there is going to be pressure. But yeah, you got to like their chances, and I know you're going to be pretty high on the CUNY girls soccer team come spring.
I think they have a legitimate shot at winning a state title in the spring. Notre Dame girls, we know a lot about them in basketball. Are there some area teams that maybe could give them a run at some point in the year, or maybe at the 1A level that you look at and go, they could make a run on their own?
Yeah, I don't know about giving Notre Dame a run. That's going to be a tall task. On the Illinois side, I think Illini West is still going to be decent at the 2A level. I'm not sure they're going to be quite as good. They're probably not going to be quite as good as they were last year when they went 26-3. Unity, I think, is going to be a very good 1A team. Return all 5 starters. And then on the Missouri side of the river, we know Marion County is going to be good. Return 5 starters from a state championship team. Monroe City had a winning season.
Very high on Monroe City.
Monroe City had a winning season last year. Everybody's back essentially. I think Carly Spalding could have a breakout year. She's a great 3-sport athlete and just as good in basketball as she is basically anything else. And Palmyra, I think, will be pretty good. They have a lot of good players returning, but are dealing with a new coach.
That's the girls' basketball side of things. Boys' basketball doesn't kick off till next week. We'll talk more about them next week. A lot of good things on both sides of the river. We'll have the update on the football teams, see if anybody's playing for a state title, and lots of turkey tournament stuff to talk about next week.
Right.
And maybe the Sears repairman will have shown up by then, and DLB will be back.
Maybe. Yes.
Let's hope. For Blake Toppmeyer, I'm Matt Schuckman. This has been Sports Writers on the Web.